I'm going to introduce our very special guest for tonight, Shweta Mantri. Shweta, say hi.
Hi, hello. Okay, I'm
Hello.
not that energetic. It's okay. What's up?
So Shweta is a writer. She's a disability rights activist, and she's a stand-up comic. Yeah, she's cool. She does cool things. Um, Sorry.
It's all a
Yeah,
scam.
she does cool things. Yes. So she advocates for the rights of people with disabilities through blogs and features, documentaries, and also through her stand-up comedy. And she says that comedy, in that sense, became a medium for her to talk about disability. And she writes something really that I find very interesting, which is she is trying to address the understanding of disability and the disability of understanding, which is very clever.
So,
Yeah.
hello everybody. Hi. I'm Shweta, and this is the first of its kind experience sharing / writing workshop that I'm taking, and I'm very excited. And condolences to all of you for having to go through this for an hour, but I'm sure we'll sail through it together. I chose comedy because I wanted to talk about disability differently, and that's why I gave you this background. Like, why did I start doing comedy? So I didn't do comedy because I like to make people laugh, or I want to be happy and smiling and bubbly always. No, I chose comedy to talk about disability, right? So when I started initially, I would sound like an angry human, and even though my jokes were funny, my tone was like, "अरे ये औरत इतना चिल्ला क्यों रही है ना?" Like literally, like where Aishwarya and I met, we were collaborating with a bunch of people, and I remember Hina, who's our theater head at that for the project. She read my set and then she saw me perform and she's like, "Shweta, why are you so angry? No one's gonna laugh. Please just tone down." So I think it's important to sort of respect the medium, respect the art form that you're using to communicate whatever you want to. I'm not saying that one should not say what they want to, but one should be mindful of the tone that they are using. you know um, I could just be like, "Hey Aishwarya," and "Hey Aishwarya, what's up?" Like, for example, I know, like, this is very basic things, but the tonality matters, and that was something that I was completely ignorant about. I am an angry person and I have something to say, and I am entitled because I'm going through a tough time in life, so y'all listen. So no, that was not how it worked. It took me a few months to figure out how to say things, and what kind of tone to use, and also to read the room before I, like, I didn't say a couple of jokes right now that I had planned to say because I was not laughing. So you just learn to read the room, how it is. Okay. Also, human beings are hypocrites. you know Although, like, all of us, including me, there's no exception. Like, even my parents, like, they don't like to, they hate when I tell them ki I could have done this differently or that differently. So human beings are hypocrites, no matter how honest you are being, and no matter what facts you are presenting to them. No one's going to be comfortable with owning up to their mistakes, especially in a public forum. So that's what I learned through my first few months. Ki no one's going to own up to things. I have to slide in my message somewhere through my stand-up comedy and then make them think, and not be direct. So yeah. Mm, um, your audiences are not your friends. So what would have happened initially is, I'd say my jokes to my friends, they'd laugh, and then I'd go on stage and bomb, and I didn't understand why. Like, why the hell was this happening? uh, what I didn't realize is my friends had context about me, who I was, where I came from, what is my approach towards life. you know um, I do this joke which I didn't do in my set, which I want to do now. So you will understand what I'm trying to say. So the joke goes like, मेरी life अच्छी है. Life as a stand-up comic is slightly tough because you've all been told ना, disabled पे मत हंसो, disabled पे मत हंसो. लोग हंसते ही नहीं मेरे jokes पे. But it's okay. Now I made my peace with it because now I know मेरे jokes खराब नहीं है, आपके संस्कार अच्छे हैं. Yeah. So what I didn't realize earlier that, or what I didn't take into consideration is that it's my job to not assume, and that everybody will look at me the way my friends or my family looks at me, and to assume that people will keep their stereotypes away before they listen to my set, you know. So it was very important for me to have my setup constructed well, so as to people get context of where I'm coming from, and what my punchline is going to say, and what is my intention behind saying a certain punchline, right? Just to not assume, or there have been times where, you know, so I have this concept show called with disability, where I do comedy and conversation on disability, where I break stereotypes. And certain times people have told me that we were not expecting such easy and simple stuff from you. We thought you would go into the depth of disability. So I'm like, oh, it's me woke audience. Ye kahan se aa gayi? So it's never safe to assume that your audience will fit into A box or B box, you know. Just be mindful of that, and set up your story, punchline, your narrative based on that. Okay. Yeah, it was also like my job to break the psychological barriers that they have, right? Because what I'd not noted this down, but I want to say right now is that there have been times when the way I go on stage has affected how my set is. Like, let's say there are a couple of big steps, you know, to get on stage, which is not my fault, obviously, but I take time to go on stage, and then because people see me struggling to get on stage, they're like, oh my god, how is she going to be funny? So no matter how good my jokes are, people just don't end up responding. So now I also have to think of techniques and lines on the spot to address what just happened, and how people should not take that into consideration. Yeah, so it's never it's always good to not assume that everybody is your friend, and just give enough background for them to understand where you're coming from. Do justice to the art form. When I started off, as I mentioned to you all, I was a very angry person. Actually, I'm an angry person. I've just learned to craft it in a manner where my yeah, y'all don't get to see how I feel on the inside, right? So Kunal Kamra was once asked this question, you know, like, what do you think, because you do political comedy, you know, what are your thoughts before you write a set, or how do you go up on stage, and just generally how do you feel? So he said that I just remind myself that I'm a stand-up comic first, and then I have to do political comedy, you know. And so if I'm not making people laugh through the art form that I have chosen, there is no use of me doing, or what do you say, being a commentator on the politics of this country, because I'm doing complete injustice to the art form that I've chosen, right? So earlier when I started, obviously I knew jack shit about comedy. I was like, I'm sarcastic, I'm funny, I'm street smart, I can do comedy. No, there's a setup, there's a punchline, there's a tag, you know, there are meta jokes, there are real jokes, all of that is happening. It's a lot of technicalities, right? So at the end of the day, at least in the first few months, I feel I was not doing justice to the art form. You know, although my message was completely valid, but like I do have a very unique story and perspective to share, right? But I wasn't really doing this to the art form, and that was wrong. So there needs to be an equal marriage of your messaging and the art form. Otherwise, it's not going to work for you. Don't listen to people a lot. Also Don't listen to how people want you to explore your art form. Like people tell me, Shweta, why don't you make fun of how you don't like to walk, or how you're just lazy and fat because you don't work and stuff, or you do whatever. I'm like, that's not my intention behind doing comedy. My intention is to break the psychological barriers that people have in their minds about disability. So again, I tried doing that and I failed because people could see that's not really what I wanted to say. I wasn't really convinced of the jokes that I was doing. Yeah. Um, this is one very important thing in terms of authenticity, is that and this is something where like I question myself like at least once in 2 months or once a month for sure. Everyone's like, Shweta, why don't you do normal jokes? Why are you doing jokes only on disability? The audience wants to know more about you. But I'm like, why? In the sense that until the time I reach the stage, I'm like, oh my God, disabled, disabled, disabled. And the moment I'm on stage, why would you want me to forget that I am a disabled person just to suit a narrative that doesn't make you um, uncomfortable? You know, um, that's my way of being authentic. I choose to share my stories. I choose to share the funny aspects of disability because I want to be true to my calling and true to um, my intention behind doing stand-up comedy, just to break this like psychological barriers. I want people to go home and think, okay, this girl spoke about how she doesn't want to be called inspiring, or this girl spoke about sex. Oh my God, people with disabilities think about sex. Oh my God, this girl spoke about leaving her mother in the old age home. Oh my God, people with disabilities are bad. I want people to think real things about us, so which is why I want to be true and authentic to my narrative. And especially if you're someone like me, like I definitely believe that so when people ask me, what's something that you would want to explore or talk about more, I say I want to definitely explore the intersection of ableism and patriarchy. It's mind blowing. It gives so many layers, to my story. So if you're someone like me who has a very unique perspective to share, which is not only going to help you share your story, but also change the way people think about certain things, right? Please be convinced that you are doing the right thing. Like there have literally been times where I have wanted to write. I mean, I do write normal jokes, but like literally do a completely new set that doesn't involve disability. But I had to remind myself that nahi, I have a unique story to share. And also thankfully I am privileged when it comes to stand-up comedy, because I come from a background where that doesn't require me um, to earn money for bread butter. So I can not do a job and use this time to work on my craft and do stand up on the subject of disability. So it will be completely foolish of me to give up this opportunity and privilege and do something that everybody else wants me to do, just so that things become less awkward for them. Yeah. So please be authentic in whatever you're doing. Understand where you're coming from. Please share your truest, deepest emotions, stories, because you never know how it's going to change someone's life. Or just, I mean, I know I am 33 right now. I know things are not going to change in 30 years. What I am doing or what people are doing, it might take more than 50 years for us to see a change in the way people think about disabilities, but you have to do it. You have to start with it. Like I can't just give up because I'm not going to see the change, because I feel very strongly about this subject. I feel very strongly about not being um perceived as a normal, quote unquote, thinking, living human being with real emotions. And I want to do my best to change, so that 50 years down the line, there isn't another girl like me who has to go through the same emotional and psychological issues that I went through. Understand that, you can talk about this, like two people can talk about the same things and still have very different sensibilities about them, and still have different approaches. Um, so yeah, and that's the end of me pakawing all of you. Before that, one more point to go. Uh, it's okay to not find your voice. It's okay, and I don't think there is something as 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 only one voice that we will relate to in our lifetimes. Like, I was a different person 3 years back. I'm a different person now. My voice back then was different. It's different now. So it's okay, and I feel like if at all you have to find your voice, you will find it after you do all the above mentioned mistakes. So I know that's quite ironical, but don't be behind a particular, don't I mean as I mean even when I said that, give yourself time. Just enjoy the journey more than the destination. Like, yeah, the Netflix special is my destination, but that does not mean that I don't enjoy bombing on stage, or don't enjoy my entire process.
Okay.
I have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Shweta, yeah. What according to you makes a good joke? Like, how does one write a good joke?
right. I know I shared my experiences from like a completely storytelling perspective, but a good joke is a good setup where I give you like like let's say if it's about me, why give you like a couple of pointers about why I am like this. If I'm cracking a joke on my parents, why am I cracking a joke on my parents? Like, they would have done something to me for me to have be saying this, right? uh, Giving them enough context, then having a great impactful punchline. There's something called as economy of words. you know as somebody who used to write and who still writes, I'm really like, sometimes like my initial drafts of my jokes are very verbose. I have to literally sit down and edit my jokes to make them as concise as possible. Like, for example, when I did my Tirupati joke right now, when I said कि मेरे parents को कुछ नहीं पता कैसे करना है कहाँ करना है. Earlier, the substitute to this would be, not only were my parents ignorant about how to do it, they were also ignorant about where to do it. Right? So I did the same thing in like less words. So economy of words, strong, good background, and a good punchline. And then there's something called as tags, which are lines that make your punchline stronger. So yeah, I think we lost Tara. Yeah. I want you all to react, to give me a reaction to my stand-up set, like
Okay.
boo, whatever. Okay.
Okay.
And then we will take a screenshot.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yay! So sweet. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Stay good and see you all soon. Yes.
Thank you so
Aishwarya.
much.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. See you guys
Bye,
on
bye, bye.
Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah. See
Bye.
you guys on Saturday.